I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will learn different techniques of finding end behavior of a function. The question is, write end behavior for the rational function s of x equals to 1 minus, this is not a rational function, let me write down square root function, okay. Square root function s of x equals to 1 minus square root of 5 minus x. So there are different approaches which you can take to solve such cases. So we can take two approaches in this particular video. One, let us sketch a rough sketch, right? And then we can also use some values. So evaluate. So these are the two ways which we'll do in this particular video. First, let me sketch the graph of this function. It is a square root function, as you know, which has been transformed. So this is a square root function. Let me rewrite this function. It can be written as s of x equals to minus square root of, it's better to write minus as factored out. So when you factor out minus, you get x minus 5, right? And then plus 1. It is very important to understand this transformation also. So what we have here is a transformation where the function square root x is reflected on the vertical axis because of this, and horizontal axis. So first is this one is kind of like this. Okay, so let's say kind of like this, and then it is this one which is kind of like this, and then we'll do these two translations moving right and then above, right? So we are going to move right 5 units and then above 1 unit, so it's kind of like this. Okay, so that is the graph where the point here is 5 and 1. So that is the graph, and from the graph you can see that end behavior is only towards x approaching negative infinity. So when x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity. So that is our solution. The other way here is that we have to calculate just the values. 5 is a number. You could take 5 number about 1000, which could be very large as compared to 5. So you can evaluate what is the value for s 1000, the function value at s of minus 1000 and plus 1000, right? Those two values. So if I do minus 1000, this becomes plus, right? So let's do it. So what we have here is 1 minus square root of 5 minus, and we are putting 1000 first. So 1, 2, 3 equals 2. So it gives an error, right? So we get an error in this case, so that is not possible. The second one is 1 minus square root of, let's clear this, 1 minus square root of 5 minus within bracket negative 1000, right? So when you do negative 1000, you get a value, and this value for you is approximately, it is approaching minus 30.70, which is very high value, right? So we know this function has to approach a high value, but it is negative, right? Since it is kind of this value, we can say when x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity. Since this is negative, do you see that? So we can kind of get an idea by just placing the values. So if sketching becomes difficult, if you have a situation where you're running out of time, it's a multiple choice question, just substituting few values helps, right? So that is the end behavior, which is what you expected, right? I hope this strategy helps. Thank you and all the best.